Up next, my final video of 2022, and it's going to be a great one. The top 5 most worn perfumes for me this year. Not necessarily what would be my top 5 favorite or whatever you want to call it, but these, when I went back and looked, these were the top 5 in order that I wore the most for this entire year of 2022. Find out what they are coming up next. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose here in my little laboratory slash office in my home. And today's video is my last one for 2022. Hope everyone's having a great holiday season. Hope you had a great Christmas, and hope you, of course, have a wonderful, happy new year. Hope it's prosperous and healthy for you and your loved ones. And I want to thank everybody for being with me here in 2022, and I can't wait to 2023. Big things are going to happen, and I have a lot of announcements, well, some big announcements coming soon in the next, I don't know, maybe month or two. So let's get right into this. My top 5, which I thought was interesting when I actually broke down. I'm not surprised necessarily all the fragrances that are in this list. I am surprised about one of them, and I'm also a little bit surprised at how the final order worked out. So let's go right into this. My number 5 most worn fragrance this year is, and I think this is the surprise that is going to be there for some of you, Craft by Andrea Mack. This one I would call probably one of my most go-to dumb reach fragrances when I just don't know what to wear some mornings and I don't want to put a lot of thought into it. Maybe I'm just going to be working at home or what it is, and I don't have to like put a ton of thought. This is a fragrance I always reach for. It's one of my favorite cedar-based fragrances. It's dry, it's very arid. It's, you know, maybe I like it so much because everything is so humid in Miami to have this kind of like almost dry, non-humid fragrance, very kind of wood, cedar-based. It's got a little sweetness to it. Just is, always works so well for me, works great on my skin, and it's by far one of my most worn fragrances, number 5. All right, let's go now to number 4. And I thought maybe this would be a tad bit higher. I'm not surprised this is on the list, of course, and that is Oudin. You can see I'm actually almost out of Oudin. I'm gonna have to be getting a new bottle soon from Osme Perfumery. But Oudin is, I've said it before, probably I think the most versatile fragrance in my collection. It is the epitome of Serge-off quality, but it's also kind of a freshie. So this is, it's got this grapefruit top, it's citrusy, but it's got this kind of interesting coffee mid-note that just makes this unique enough to get out of the typical freshie realm, and it lasts over 10 hours on my skin, great projection, and it's a great date fragrance. It's, just constantly complimented when I have dates or when it's smelled by women, just seems to always work well. So it's a no-brainer that I wear this one a lot, and that's my number 4 most worn fragrance. Coming in at number 3, and this is a new entry onto kind of my most used list, and that is Chypre from Therapia by Aroma. No surprise here, again, for those of you who have watched my channel this year. Started wearing this a lot about 6 months ago. Somehow had overlooked it at Therapia by Aroma. Irene from, the perfumer and the creator of the brand here in Miami, a local indie perfumer. And by far the best value of any fragrance here. This 30 ml bottle is $15. You can get the 100 ml bottle for $25. But this has also led me to some other great discoveries. I love the smell of this Chypre fragrance she's created. It's a kind of fresh, bright, typical Chypre fragrance, which is going to usually have some oak moss in it. And oof, yeah, you can smell that kind of green oak mossy, just dominates the scent, that it makes it so clean and fresh and beautiful. But this also led me to discover that she has a soap that she makes, a chypre soap and a chypre actual like a bar soap, and a chypre liquid shower soap. That they're the only two soaps I use now because it gives such a great base, and it's a great base for any fragrance that I use. So this chypre is my number 3. Again, dumb reach, easy to grab, gets compliments, and I can wear it in basically any situation. All right, leads me down to my top 2, and this is going to be, I think, a little bit of a surprise for some of you. Coming in at number 2, and this bottle's all beat up, which shows you how much I've used it this year, and that is Desired by Ellis Sire. Desired, see it, the bottle, it's kind of beat up. The reasons why it's kind of beat up is because I bring this with me whenever I travel. I love 30 ml sizes of fragrance. I like them better than 100 milliliters because 100 milliliters to me, you tend to just not use it, especially if you have a lot of fragrances. But with a 30 ml bottle, fits easy in my DOP kit, my travel kit when I want to go somewhere. So this basically goes with me wherever I go if I'm traveling. And for those of you who travel a lot, that is a great quality to have, a nice 30 ml bottle. That's why it's a little bit beat up. But look, I've talked about this a lot before. Just smelling it brings back such good memories. I have such good odor associative learning behaviors now with this fragrance because it's brought such good results for me on dates, really well on dates. It just gets complimented by girls. They love it. It lasts so long on my skin that so whenever I smell it now, I just have unbelievably positive memories. And I can say this, when I see people at Osme Perfumery or even Scent Explorer a few weeks ago in New York, whenever I see people who subscribe to my channel and they come up, one of the first things they tell me, or even comment on my channel, is that they bought this because of my recommendation and it's one of their favorite fragrances. I was just in Osme this weekend, and a husband and wife from West Palm Beach were visiting for the first time to Osme after they saw one of my videos. And of course, the first fragrance he wanted to try was this one, and he and his wife both ended up buying it. So this is just, again, I wear it all the time. And that leads me to my number 1 fragrance, which is a little bit of a surprise. I knew it would be in my top 5, but when I sat down and looked and realized this is my most worn fragrance, and that is Cologne from, of course, Parfums de Marly. A fragrance that when it came out a few years ago was just average for me. If you go back and look at my videos, I actually did 2 videos. My first video was a video basically saying I didn't really like it. My second video a few weeks later was I changed my mind after wearing it a little bit more, maybe it was a month later. This is going back 2.5 years ago now. Fast forward to this year, actually it was early this year in 2022, beginning of this year, so almost a year ago, on a dare from Maurice, the owner, one of the co-owners of Osme Perfumery, dared me to wear this because he said he gets unbelievable results from it. When he wears it, people notice it. He wore it to this thing called Carnival, which is a big party here in Miami that celebrates Jamaican culture or Caribbean culture. It's a huge party. It's outdoors, it's dancing, it's sweating, and he was getting people just like coming up to him and asking him, what is this? I finally gave it another shot, and when I did, it was pure magic, and I've not stopped wearing it ever since. This is, when I look back, my number 1 go-to fragrance. It just is a pure winner. Girlfriend's favorite fragrance on me. My girlfriend, I mean, loves it. I cannot say enough about it. For those of you who have overlooked it, I understand. I did too. And again, maybe it's a scent that is a little bit of an acquired scent because it doesn't necessarily scream something super unique, but it is actually unique because when you look at the fact that the note breakdown that they list of blood orange, black pepper, spices, lavender, orange blossom, cashmere, tonka, sandalwood, moss, you're thinking, okay, these are all classic, beautiful, fragrance notes, but somehow this combination, it's just a banger. It's beast mode. It projects. It grabs attention. And bottom line, my number 1 most worn fragrance for 2022. I can't wait to see what 2023 brings and what at the end of the year that list will look like. But let me know, guys. Let me know some of your most worn fragrances for 2022. Any of these in the list? Any of these that I just mentioned? That would be interesting to see. But I love your comments. And again, Happy New Year, everybody, and nothing but the best going forward for 2023 for all of you. I'll talk to you soon, and I'll see you next year. Peace, love, and perfume.